Okay, so what I've done here is I've included an extra chair in the spirit of things to invite the spirit to sit with us and to help us with our discussions and stuff like that, and to also invite the spirit of the energy between us and the viewers and whatever. Here's an extra chair. This chair can seat a lot of people. It's not like you think, you know. It looks like a chair, but really it's dimensional. So this chair represents many chairs in a massive circle, and everybody is sitting in the chairs and talking. And what do you call it? I've decided to write a little bit of notes. I really didn't have to, kind of, but I thought that it was, you know, it's easy to just grab this to stop myself to shut myself up from going. So we should have, I've already recorded the video where there are no such things as big things. And another thing I wanted to touch on now is today in these sessions are, what's the deal with the physical world? Why is the physical world so important? All right, and then I took one more note, but I'm not going to read that one more note because that one more note is the whole point of that type of discussion, and this is the whole point of the discussion, is to get to that point of the discussion. Just kidding. What's the deal with the physical world? What's the deal with the physical distinction? What's the deal with the ability to interact, experience, process, and construct and distinguish, okay, in such a way as to create a physical reality? How do you like that? Do you like that? That should make a lot of sense, actually. I mean, there's other ways to describe it. There might not necessarily. There's a range of descriptions that are not necessarily right or wrong. Okay, you can take a stand and say definitively that, okay, there are physical things. This is a physical property. It literally does exist. It's not something that we are projecting and constructing that has this definitive, you know what I mean? The chair, the particles and the makeup of this chair are actually things that exist in this range and amount of dimensions that we have access to and are interacting with and in. And we could also snowball down a whole bunch of avenues about what that's all about as well. And we will. And we will, at some point we will, because that's the whole point. The point is empowering. The point is in sharing ideas. The point is I think of these vlogs as ways for us to upgrade. I've always thought of that. And they're ways for us to constantly upgrade. They're not just one-offs. They're ways for us to upgrade our logic and reasoning. And they're ways so that we can apply that type of thinking in our experiences, in our interactions and stuff. So whether you think that this is literally something that truly is there, okay, and we exist and share in the same space of it so that we're meeting it, interacting with it, and hence, or you think that there is more of a general or an overall soup of material, of something that we can interact with, where we can distinguish and make distinctions of those particular interactions, and then, okay, construct or process them into, you know, stuff so that we see the chair. And believe me, what we would process would be as solid as what we think right here. Even though there's heaps of things we could say to really broaden our understanding and be a little bit more realistic about what it really means to be solid. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's quite interesting. So whatever the case is, the point is, I'm not going to use the notes just for fun, just to see if I can remember where we're going, just to see if I can get off the snowball that's all the way over there now and bring myself all the way back over here where I thought I was. I was touching the chair, so I thought I was over here. So so what's the deal with the physical world? Why is the physical world so important? And if you're bearing with me up to this point, and if I haven't edited and cut it to get out all of this excess fun stuff, I'm going to tell you now, and I'm going to really hook you guys up about what the deal is and stuff like that. And we're just going to scratch the surface in a way about it, because believe me, there's a lot to analyze, there's a lot to talk about and stuff. What's the deal with the physical world? Why is the physical world so important? Why are whatever the entities that you know and heard about and maybe interacting with, whatever, why is all eyes on the physical world? Why is all eyes on us? Why is it so important? What's the thing about this place and stuff? Okay, here it is. In an absolute condition, okay, it's a potential state. It's a potential nature. Potential natures are, to make a long story short, we could represent them as infinite natures, indefinite natures. But the reason I use the term absolute is because it's not that it's an unknown, but it's just that it's an unlimited. So the potential state is an unlimited. There is no parameters to an interaction or a distinction that can be made. So it's not like, you know what I mean? So in that sense, yes, the best that we can do, and it's an amazing thing that we can do, is we can represent it in terms of an infinite nature and stuff like that. But the point is, understanding that the absolute behaves in that way. The absolute is an infinite nature, but it's absolute in the sense, or exactly, it's absolute exactly because there is no other thing. There is no other place. Everything is contained within there. And there is no contained because there are no boundaries. There are no borders to say that this is existence, but this is not existence. There are no borders. Anywhere that you distinguish, anywhere that you interact with, okay, and can then have data about it and create a system about it, you could sustain or whatever, you know what I mean? Anywhere will become a value of existence, will become a thing. But if you didn't, for example, then you would be in the potential state, right? I can imagine this video is going to start to log on the minutes. So the point is, all right, the physical world solves the problem of infinity. And right there, hopefully, I truly believe, and trust me, if you need a little help and you're having fun, you know, upgrading and exploring these types of ideas and stuff, trust me, what I've just told you puts you on the front line, puts you on the most state-of-the-art lines of reasoning that we're dealing with. And if people are not dealing with it, then they're behind and stuff. And they're just going to sit there playing games with that pop culture stuff like that and stuff. If you want to play games with how mind-boggling it is for us to imagine that there's an infinite amount of you know, worlds where there might be a version of whatever. I have a video, I have info on that as well. But the point is, okay, imagine any of what you know about infinity. Imagine any kind of infinite nature is a problem. It's not a great thing, it's a problem. If there are an infinite amount of versions of you, that's a problem. Okay? Because it conflicts with a definitive source. It conflicts with an origin. It conflicts with an actual you. There cannot be an infinite amount of versions of you if there is not an actual you. Where is the value? Where is the script that the reoccurrence can base itself on? You understand what I'm saying? What is the basis? What is the source from which a second and a third and a fourth and a fifth and a sixth until an infinite and an indefinite, until an infinite amount can occur? What's the source? You can't have an infinite occurrence of nothing. Right? So nature, this is the brilliance of nature, and I've touched on this on other talks and stuff like that. This is the brilliance of nature. Nature, existence as well, combined, okay, solve the problem of infinity through the finite form. The finite form exists and calls home the physical world, the physical reality, the physical realm. So, there's lots of things I can make there's lots of ways I can make a long story short now from here. The physical world is sacred. It's sacred. It certainly is divine because there is no other way. And all entities and everybody knows it. Okay? And everybody is operating within it, exclusively or indirectly, in part or in whole, what makes there's so many little things we're touching on now, but what makes the biological, the human one so sought after and so intriguing is that we apply cold hard facts, and we combine cold hard facts and emotion and a bit of irrational to it. Not trying to irrational, I mean as a further an additional term to use, but I don't always mean that emotions are irrational. But what I'm trying to get at is a behavior that can defy a cold hard process. We need a way to break that mold and stuff like that. Yeah. So